Do you understand English or maybe have a few words, but you can't speak it or you feel blocked about speaking? This video is for you. Now, a lot of people think that speaking is about being perfect. It's about, I'll get there when I have enough vocabulary and I have enough grammar, then I'll start speaking English. The problem is that all the things that you're using is passive learning. So apps, for example, let's take apps. An app you install at home, and you might do it in the car or you might do it at work, and you can go up a level and you recognize words and pictures and you can put sentences together or words into sentences. The problem is that when somebody asks you something, it's in real time. On the app, you're given time to think. If you get it wrong, it doesn't really matter. There's a comfort zone in an app. The same as in a lesson. In a lesson, we write things down on a piece of paper, and if we get it wrong, well, we get it wrong. In actual fact, when we get it wrong, we think, we're still not good enough. When you start speaking the language in real time, that's when you make progress. Because yes, when somebody speaks to you, you have to answer them. And yes, you might make a mistake. In fact, you probably will to begin with. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You can make mistakes, as many as you like. You can have a go. And little by little, your courage to say, you know what? This is where I'm at. I'd like to get better, but I have to start somewhere. And this is where you're going to start. I'm got groups going. Now, it's a huge success and people are loving being able to speak to each other. People from all around the world are coming together and speaking English. Now, you don't have to know the people in the group to speak English. If somebody approaches you on the street, you're not going to know who they are. People that speak to us are not necessarily our friends. So this is a great way for you to be able to interact in English with no pressure. Now, these groups are absolutely free. You don't have to pay a penny. You just have to turn up. But the good thing is you can opt in and opt out as much as you want. So if you don't want to share your video, don't share your video. If you want to sit silent for the first half an hour because you just want to listen to other people, that's absolutely fine too. If you want to start speaking straight away because you feel confident, okay, let's get in and let's start speaking. The idea is that everybody has the same problems. Believe me when I say it. I've taught so many people over the years of all different ages and all different nationalities, and everybody thinks that they're the only one that can't get it together. They're the only one that feels stupid when they don't have the right words to answer a question. They're the only one that feels insignificant because they can't join in a conversation with a group of people, or feels scared when they have to go into a shop and ask for something. No, we're all the same. I've been there. I learnt French, as you know. I learnt French at the age of 30. And I went through all of those things. I never took a lesson. Apps didn't exist when I came here. And I took no courses, bought no books. I just went out and I started speaking to people. And sure, there are a lot of people out there that are ignorant. There are a lot of people that will just pull a funny face and go, huh? And straight away, my tummy flips, my heart starts pounding, and I think, I've made a mistake. They don't understand me. And then my brain clicks in now and goes, you know what, it doesn't matter. I'll try again. But at the beginning, I thought, and I would put my head down and I would try and think of another word. And some people are just like that. They're just ignorant. They're not going to get any better by listening to you. It's just they've never come across somebody like you that speaks with an accent that you have or doesn't get their words in the same order. Now, I got looks when people ask me, what did I train as? Because I'm not trained as a teacher. I've taught for a long, long time, nearly 30 years of teaching. But I wasn't trained as a teacher. I was trained in design and engineering. And when I say to people, oh yes, I have a degree, they look at me a little weird. And at the beginning, I wasn't quite sure why. But then it dawned on me is because my French was what we call pidgin French, so just a few words, they thought, ignorantly, that I was stupid. They thought I was talking like a child because I was a child, because I had the intelligence of a child. No, no, my brain works perfectly okay. I can speak my mother tongue fluently, as can you. Just because you can't speak English fluently doesn't make you more stupid, doesn't make you less intellectual. It makes you a better person because you're trying something that's hard to better yourself. So those people in front of you, just look at them for what they are. They're people that haven't interacted with foreigners, that perhaps have stayed very isolated in their community or their home country, or who have no interests in the outside world or anything that's coming into their country. And that's perfectly okay. There are people like that, and I totally accept them. But they are a minority. Really. You know, I talk about some of the horror stories that I've gone through over the years, and it is only a handful of occasions that these things have happened. And yes, they're very dramatic and they've had a huge impact on my learning and on my confidence. But the majority of people are patient, they listen, they try and understand. I want you to start speaking. And so I want you to join our groups. Now, they're very small groups, 5-6 people max. I don't want to put too many people on. Why? Because then not everybody gets a chance to speak and to interact and to realize that everybody across the world has the same hesitations, probably make the same mistakes, the same pronunciation difficulties. You know, there are sounds in English that are incredibly difficult. So English is hard. Speaking English is not. And I want you to start today. So if you're interested in speaking English for free, contact me. I've put a link down below with the website, so that has all the information on it. It has all my contact details. You can contact me by email or by telephone through the website. Or you can contact me through one of the platforms. So there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's Facebook, and here on YouTube. And I'll contact you and I'll give you the information. Now, this is open to everybody of all levels. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting out and you have 1 or 2 words, or whether you have spoken English or maybe learnt English in university to university level and you have a very good written level, but you've never spoken it. It really is for everybody. And you'll very soon find your place in the group and we'll work together and we'll get you speaking. And you'll realize that 10 minutes of speaking is worth 10 hours of studying. Your courage will grow when you realize that everybody else is in the same boat as you, that everybody else also has difficulties, that feels shy, that feels ashamed, that feels scared. All of these emotions are perfectly normal and perfectly natural when we are faced in a difficult situation. And that's the whole point of learning a language. Now, when you learnt your mother tongue, you didn't learn by writing down words. You didn't learn with lists of vocabulary and getting grammar correct and learning all the tenses and then little by little getting sentences longer and longer. No, you learnt by listening and copying and bit by bit putting words together. And that's how we progress, just like you did as a child with your native language. You learnt over a period of 1 or 2 years, even up to 5 years, because you weren't fluent at the age of 3 or 4, but you were fluent in your native language by the age of 5, generally, 5, 6. And it's at 5, 6 that then we start writing. And then when you write the letters that you already know how to say, That's when your brain puts the two things together and you learn to read. So learning a second language should be exactly the same. Our education system is completely twisted. So this works. I've tried it for years and I'm opening it up to everyone across the world. Let's get together and start speaking in English. You got this. You can do it. I know you can. Stop saying, oh, I'll wait until I get better. Start today. Contact me. Start speaking English for free. I'd love to see you there.